Hello guys, and welcome back to this F1 2014 100% race career mode of mine. I believe every driver has this one track on the Grand Prix circuit that just chews him up and spits him out. And for me, that track is Barcelona. I do not know what it is about this track. It seems pretty straightforward. I just cannot seem to find the right way to drive it. I am always struggling here. I am always off the pace. I am unable to set up the car right. No matter what I try, I've looked online, see what other people are doing, and listened to advice, and I still cannot seem to find a setup that matches my driving style. Hence, I struggle here. So, it'll be very interesting to see how we are going to fare this weekend. This is Q1, this is our first lap, and I do not expect this to be all that competitive here. We were about 2 seconds off the pace during the practice session from the front runners. And, well, as you can see, Grosjean there just in temporary pole. We managed to beat that 123.682. Nothing to write home about whatsoever, but hopefully it'll be enough to get us into Q2. And it is. Jumping straight to Q2 here, this is going to be our first lap, and as you can see, it is starting to rain a little bit here, so it's just going to be a question of time here. Just get a quick time in early, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us into the shootout, because the track conditions are just going to get worse, so we're not going to get any faster. 124.175 here, that is worse than our Q1 time, and we are way off the pace from Rosberg here. We just managed to squeeze into the shootout. Ricciardo is out, and Raikkonen is out. Jenson Button, however, appears to be doing well in this qualifying session, and all things considered, he really needs to improve there, so that's a good sign. Q3, our first lap here. As you can see, the rain is starting to come down more and more here, so again, it's going to be a question of just getting a quick lap in early, because the track conditions are going to get worse, and we're not going to be getting any faster here. Hamilton, 125.727. That's 5 seconds slower than Rosberg's Q2 time. We managed a 127.882, which puts us into a temporary fifth at the moment here. And we're just going to be pulling over to the side because, like I said, we're not going to be getting any faster. Anyway, that is enough for fifth on the grid, right ahead of Jenson Button, who is in P6. Getting ready for the start here. Vettel immediately ahead of us. Alonso to our right. We're going to be doing our damnedest to get out of the gate well here, because if we are going to have any sort of success on this track, it is going to involve getting in front early and parking the bus a whole lot. And we get a great start squeezing down between the two Mercs here, heading into turn 1, and we are in P1. And this is where the struggle is going to start, because we are going to be on the defensive in this race like crazy. After experimenting with a whole lot of setups, I have chosen to go with a low downforce setup. I know that everybody says this is a stupid track for a low downforce setup, but I cannot seem to get up to pace with the AI cars on the slower parts of the track, regardless of how little downforce I'm running. So I might as well run no downforce at all and at least have the advantage on the straight. As you can see there, we have Hamilton immediately behind us there. There's a little bit of a gap down to Rosberg, who is running in third. I would assume he's about a second and a half down. And currently, like I said before here, the strategy on this track is going to be very defensive. It's not only going to be about parking the bus, but it's also going to be a lot about driving a clean and mistake-free race, because this track is actually pretty difficult to overtake on here in the twisty turny parts of the track, and really the only places where you're able to overtake are the long straights, or if somebody makes a mistake. So if we stay out of making too many mistakes and just keep our pace up here on the straights, we should be okay for most of the time here. Also, it's going to be a lot about tire management. Barcelona is notorious for being a tire killer, and we are starting out on option tires here, and we are going to be doing 20 laps on our opening stint. So at some point here, right now, we're being put under pressure by both Rosberg and Hamilton, and we are killing the tires at the moment here. At some point, we are going to have to ease off a little and start saving our tires. Like I said before, this is going to be a lot about staying on the racing line, not making too many mistakes there, even though we run a little wide there, because we are going to be very fast on the straights, and the AI are going to have a whale of a time with us there. And we actually go purple here on lap 5, even though we're holding back the Mercs right now. I have no doubt that they would actually be able to go quicker if they didn't get blocked by us at the moment. And also worthy of notice, as you can see on the mini track there, Jenson Button is actually into P4 right now. Coming up here on lap 6, we have been putting some strain on our tires here for the first couple of laps, trying to defend from the Mercedes cars. And it's getting quite evident that we are not going to be able to match their pace anyway, so we might as well just take it into lean mode here for a while and just see if we can't save our tires here for the next 10 laps or so. And if the Mercs pass us, well, then there's nothing to be done about that, because if we keep going like we have been so far, we are going to be on totally dead tires come lap 15 or something. Jumping to lap 8 here, as you can see, even with DRS, the two Mercs are unable to catch us here on the straight, and that is definitely something to be happy about. Through turns 1 and 2 here, coming into turn 3. This particular turn is where we get killed by the AI on this track. I know we're running a low downforce setup, but during practice it just seemed like no matter how much downforce we added to the car, we were still getting caned in that particular corner. Skipping ahead to lap 9, we are lapping Ericsson here for the first time this race, complete with what the fuck wave there. And not only that, he's also keeping the Mercs behind him here for an extra couple of seconds, giving us some much needed breathing room. Jumping straight to lap 14, you can see there's a bit of a train forming behind us right now of 4 cars. That is Hamilton, Bottas, Rosberg, and Sebastian Vettel. Looking at the mini track and the mirrors there, you can see Hamilton just spins off the track as we have a yellow flag situation right now. Disappears quickly again, as you can see, but Hamilton was off the track. I am not sure whether or not he suffered any damage, but as it is right now, Bottas is into second position. He's a second down on us, and Rosberg is in third. And at least that's one less car for the train behind us there, as our tires are starting to suffer. And on lap 20, just as scheduled, we head into the pits for our first stop. And as you can see there, Hamilton is back into second position behind Bottas, so it appears that that spin of his was not a serious one. We are changing to a set of prime tires here for the middle stint, and we are probably going to be going for a set of options for the final stint. Returning to the track here, we are rejoining in what appears to be 6th position, ahead of Vettel, who is in the pits behind us and is about a second down on us right now. And as you can see there's a lot of cars in the pits right now, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not we get P1 back or somebody are going to be ahead of us here. And it appears that Bottas is coming out of the pits here right now and actually takes first place here. We just get caught a little bit in this dirty air here and lose some valuable time there as Bottas just pulls away. Bit of a shame there. It would have been nice to just squeeze on ahead of him there on the straight. We would have been able to hold him back a little bit, because I don't think we're going to be catching him. Jumping to lap 24, as you can see, Bottas has opened up a gap of about 5 seconds down to us, and he's doing some very quick laps at the moment. Also, Hamilton is into third place right now. He is just behind us, being chased by Sebastian Vettel. So we have a Merc behind us and a Red Bull to contend with. And also it appears Jenson Button here is still running in P5. It would be nice if he could score some points, as it would definitely help us in the Constructors' Championship. Skipping ahead to lap 25 here, we have a couple of the mistakes I was talking about us needing to avoid. On 2 occasions here, we run wide and losing speed on the short DRS straight. We have Hamilton trying to go down the outside of us, and Vettel has to look down the inside of us, but we are able to squeeze out of this one and get away with a scare. Jumping ahead to lap 27 here, we still have Hamilton putting us under pressure from behind. However, it appears that Vettel has dropped back about a second and is now starting to be put under pressure by Jenson Button. And coming through turn 5 here, as you can see, both in the mirrors and on a mini track there, Lewis Hamilton just seems to park the car and is out of the Spanish Grand Prix. So tough break for Hamilton. Good news for us is this means we may have a chance to close the gap on him in the Drivers' Championship here, but that's a long ways away. We are about halfway through the race and we are being put under pressure every step of the way. And not surprisingly, again, we have a train of cars forming behind us there. We have Vettel immediately behind us. We have Jenson Button tangled in there as well. And I believe it was Nico Hülkenberg too. Lap 36, there is an accident somewhere on the track and the safety car is coming out. And this is good news for us, as not only does it give us the chance to catch up to Bottas, but we also take a bit of a spur of the moment decision here and head into the pits. We are going to be changing for another set of primes, and we are going to be finishing out the race on those tires. And hopefully this means we may be able to claw back into first position when everybody else are making their pit stops, and then hopefully we'll just be able to park the bus the rest of the way. Just be defensive on the winding parts of the track, stick to the racing line, try not to make too many mistakes, and just outrace everyone on the straights. And on lap 41 here, part 1 of the plan appears to be a success, as there are a lot of cars in the pits right now, and we managed to advance into 4th position and are now chasing Felipe Massa. And on lap 43, we advance further into P2, still only chasing Felipe Massa, who I expect to come into the pits as well for new tires here within the next 2 laps or so. And as you can see there, we are down to 16 cars running at the moment, and I can't remember having seen Nico Rosberg for a while. I'm not sure whether or not he's still in the race, but I do know that his teammate Lewis Hamilton is out. Jumping to lap 44 here, you can see we have Alonso running in 3rd place behind us there at the moment, about 7 seconds down. I'm not really sure what happened to Sebastian Vettel, on whether or not he was one of the cars involved in the accident earlier on, but I haven't seen him for a couple of laps, so I'm not really sure. Jumping to lap 45, Massa is opening up a slight gap to us of about 5 seconds right now, but that is to be expected as we are starting to take care of our tires here. We still have 21 laps to go on this set, and we do not want to be wearing them out too quickly. Also, as you can see, Massa is now heading into the pits, meaning we will be in P1 as we cross the line here on lap 46 of the Spanish Grand Prix. Jumping to lap 27 here, Ricciardo is now up into P2. He's being chased by Bottas, and Personally, I am hoping that Ricciardo can keep Bottas at bay here for a couple of laps, because we've already seen what Bottas is able to do with free air in front of him on this track. Jumping ahead to lap 50 here, Ricciardo is currently closing the gap to us at about a second per lap here. And as I said earlier, this is to be expected. Ricciardo is most likely on the option tire as we are on the primes. Also, as I said at the beginning of the race, I am just running off the pace here, and there is seemingly nothing I can do about it. Lap 55, Bottas is now up into second position here, and we are starting to form a train again. We have Bottas behind us. Ricciardo is in third position. I am not sure who is running in fourth at the moment, but if we make one mistake here, we could easily lose 2 or 3 places just in a blink of an eye. So we just want to keep this as clean as we possibly can, conserve the tires as best we can, and then just outrace anyone on the straights. And on lap 59 here, as Vettel puts in the fastest lap, he does make it known that he's still around. I'm not sure why he's dropped down the order so much though, but it does seem to be a bit of a trend with him this season. He'll have periods of great speed and then suddenly just disappear. So it appears that he's battling with his consistency right now. Coming out here on the finishing straight one more time, we are able to pull away from the cars immediately behind us there. As you can see, Bottas does not have the speed to match us here, even though he has DRS. And that straight line speed is definitely going to be the cornerstone of any result we might have on this track. Skipping ahead to lap 62 here, the situation remains unchanged. As long as we don't make any mistakes during the twisty turny parts of the track, we are sitting pretty here as nobody is catching us on the straights. And also our tires here seem to be in pretty good conditions considering we've been out for quite a while on this set. Skipping to lap 64, we are coming up on a monumental goof on my part. This is not a racing goof. This will go home. We are going to win this race. However, I did not notice that my recorder had run out of recording space as I was way too busy defending from Ricciardo behind me there. So I didn't notice it blinking. Otherwise, I could have just stopped it and done something, deleted something so that we just could have kept on going there. But unfortunately, though, we are going to be missing lap 65 and 66 there, and we are going to be missing the ceremony. So that's a bit of a drag, considering this is my first ever win in this career mode there, and on my least favorite track in a situation where I thought I would never get within the first 6 places. So all in all, I'm really happy with what we managed to get out of this weekend. I did not expect us to be competitive, and I definitely did not expect us to win this race. Also, as Lewis Hamilton retired from the race here with what seemed to be a mechanical failure and did not register any points, we managed to close the gap on him in the Drivers' Championship as well. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like, a subscribe even, and I'll be back soon enough. Bye-bye.